When it comes to bug out routes, most people likely have a route that will get them stuck. They choose the obvious road, follow everyone else, and end up trapped in a traffic nightmare. In this video, I'm going to show 3 route planning mistakes that turn what could be an effective bug out or evacuation into a disaster, and how to plan the optimal route. My guess is number 2 is probably the most overlooked even by most preppers. Shane with Modern Warrior Project here. Today we're talking routes, not gear. If your route fails, your gear doesn't even get the chance to come into play, especially if it's stored at the bug out location. I'm going to walk you through each mistake, give some real world examples, and leave you with a step-by-step route planning checklist you can use tonight. Quick note, I'll be showing maps and historical examples here in the background. If you want the checklist, make sure and grab it from the description once you're done watching. Okay, let's get into mistake number 1. Mistake 1, relying on the main highway. I suspect this is one of the mistakes a lot of seasoned preppers probably catch and fix first. People automatically pick the biggest road, i.e. the interstate, the main arterial. This makes sense in normal traffic, but in an evacuation, those roads become parking lots. Limited lanes plus a suddenly huge demand equals gridlock. That's basic traffic physics. During major hurricane evacuations, the big highways always choke. People sit for hours, fuel runs out, kids get cranky, and everyone is stuck. That's not hyperbole, it's predictable and avoidable. Fix it by planning route layers, not just one route. So, let's talk about route layers. Layer 1 is your primary route, the fastest road in normal times. Layer 2 is a secondary route, parallel state or local roads that avoid choke points. And layer 3 is a tertiary route, small county roads, back roads, or off-grid options you can use if the first 2 fail. Don't just know the names of the roads, know where they cross rivers, bridges, tunnels, and where they narrow. Mark those spots on your map. If you're leaving with family, consider staggering departures. One vehicle leaves early, ideally the most versatile. The next leaves 30 minutes later. There's pros and cons to this method. Some quick pros, smaller waves of traffic move faster than a large convoy, and the lead can communicate potential issues to others en route as well as have off-site backup for any big problems. The biggest cons being there can be strength in numbers and there's always a potential of the rear vehicles running into an issue and the lead having to backtrack. Do a recon drive now. Drive all the routes on the same day of the week and the same time to try and get an idea what they look like in similar circumstances. Seeing it once beats discovering it during an emergency. Mistake 2, ignoring terrain and choke points. Rivers, mountain passes, bridges, tunnels, these are all natural funnels. If one crossing goes out, traffic funnels into the next. That creates massive backups. Storms take out bridges or close mountain passes. Entire regions end up funneling into a single crossing. That single point determines whether you move or you wait. You want to identify at least 2 crossing points, 3 is even better, for every major river or canyon on your routes. In some cases, like the one I'm showing you, the travel time differences can be significant. Nonetheless, it's better than trying to figure it out on the fly. For rural areas, find farm roads and fords that are legally usable. Make notes for seasonal conditions. Some roads are great in the summer and impassable in winter. Talk to locals. Ask about washouts and seasonal closures. A quick recon trip gives you knowledge that you won't get from an app. If a bridge is the only crossing for 40 miles, that route is fragile. Plan the alternate crossing even if it adds time. Redundancy beats speed when choke points fail. Mistake 3, assuming fuel, service, and infrastructure will be running. People plan long runs, assuming they'll refill at gas stations, use the latrine at rest stops, and buy food and drinks along the way. That assumption can fail fast in a real event. It's very common in simple, localized evacuations for gas stations to run out of fuel in the first few hours of the initial run. People end up stranded with empty tanks because stations ran dry or lose power. So, you want to do the fuel math. Use the real distance you expect to travel, not the optimistic distance. Add a 25% margin, then mark alternate refuel points. Not just interstate plazas, but local stations that historically stay open and off the beaten path. As a fallback, you also want to carry a fuel container and plan for a small alternative transport, a folding bike in the trunk or a bike with panniers for short hops. At worst case, you could even walk. Also, plan resupply nodes. Pre-arranged meeting points where group members swap gear, share fuel, or even change vehicles. Small caches can be a huge advantage, but take effort and planning. That said, they're well worth the payoff. A quick note on cache sites. We often think of a hidden cache in the woods. And while that's one way, there is often an easier option. Consider people you know and trust along your route and pre-arrange storing cached supplies at their location. This may take you a little out of the way here and there, but may be worth it in the overall planning and could act as a safety backstop. Don't assume cell service will hold. Save offline maps and export GPS waypoints. Save contact numbers as plain text as well. Don't rely on contact cards that need a network. Practical recon and local knowledge. Recon is non-negotiable. Drive your alternates at the likely departure time. Note traffic lights, common slow spots, and any seasonal hazards. Record GPS waypoints on your device and save them offline. Ask neighbors and local first responders about problem spots. They'll tell you which back roads flood, which bridges ice over, and which gas stations close first or have the most problems. Simply being friendly and talking with locals can provide huge benefits in your planning. Step-by-step route planning process. Now here's the exact process I use to build a resilient route plan. Step 1, draw your primary route plus at least 2 alternates on a physical map and in your mapping app. Don't rely on memory. Step 2, mark every choke point, bridges, tunnels, narrow single lane sections, and major intersections. Step 3, note seasonal and infrastructure risks. Winter closures, flood-prone roads, and areas that will likely have cell service outages. Step 4, do the fuel math. Distance plus 25% margin, identify fallback fuel stops. Step 5, simulate timing. Run the route mentally for morning, midday, and evening departures. Congestion patterns differ wildly by time. Step 6, do a recon trip. Drive your primary and alternate routes, save your offline map tiles, and record GPS waypoints. Step 7, practice. Do a timed run with family once a year. Test gear, communications, and vehicle readiness, as well as various challenges. Make it a fun family event. If you follow these steps, your route has layers and it becomes resilient instead of fragile. Okay, let's do a quick recap. Don't rely on one highway, map choke points and crossings, plan fuel margins and service fallbacks, do recon, save offline maps, and practice with your group. Download the one-page route checklist in the description. Use it tonight and map one alternate for your primary route to get started. Tell me in the comments which mistake surprised you the most. Also, share some of your best bug-out route-related tips. Subscribe for more practical prepper tactics and real-world route planning. Stay safe out there, map smart, don't plan like everyone else. See you next time.